You feel it, don't you? That weight pressing on your chest, that gnawing tension at the edge of your mind, telling you that you're trapped, stuck in a game that was never yours to play. The arguments, the fights, the endless push and pull, maybe with a friend, maybe with a lover, maybe with life itself, have exhausted you. You've given, you've bent, you've tolerated, and yet here you are, drained, frustrated, and quietly furious. But what if I told you that the fight you've been preparing for, the struggle you've been losing without even realizing it, isn't meant to be won through force? That true victory, the kind that leaves your opponent baffled, the kind that leaves you standing taller, unshaken, untouchable, comes not from engaging, not from arguing, not from clawing and scratching and bleeding for approval. It comes from walking away first. Yes, walking away, not running, not hiding, not retreating in shame or cowardice. Walking away with your head held high, with your dignity intact, with the silent power of someone who sees the futility in the battle that everyone else insists you fight. Walking away first is the ultimate form of dominance because it forces the world and those who oppose you to chase you on your terms, not theirs. Look around you. How many people are still fighting for the attention, the respect, the love, the validation of someone who would never give it freely? How many of them are worn down by the endless struggle, tired from the mental gymnastics, the manipulation, the subtle warfare that life throws at them? And yet, here you are, reading these words, because deep down, you feel it too. The recognition that this cycle is a trap, and there is a way out. A way to win without fighting. Imagine the relief of standing in a room, watching the chaos unfold, but not touching it. Watching the storm rage, feeling its winds whip around you, but knowing it cannot reach you. You are calm, you are untouchable, you are free. This is not fantasy. This is the moment you step into when you choose to walk away first. Now, I want you to feel something. The sheer audacity of choosing yourself over the argument, over the drama, over the people and situations that thrive on your engagement. Most people are slaves to reaction. They see conflict, they respond. They see provocation, they retaliate. They are the pawns in a game they never designed. But you are about to become the player. Walking away first is not defeat. Far from it. It is clarity. It is insight. It is the recognition that not every battle deserves your energy. Not every war deserves your life. It is the realization that power is quiet. Power is invisible. Power is the calm in the eye of the storm. And when you walk away first, you take that power with you. You carry it into your life like a weapon they cannot see, a weapon they cannot touch, a weapon that shifts the entire balance without a single word spoken now. Listen closely. The world will test you. Life will scream at you that you must engage, that you must fight, that you must justify your existence in the eyes of others. Your friends, your lover, your colleagues, some will demand explanations. Some will attempt manipulation. Some will lash out with anger, with jealousy, with frustration. And yet, if you walk away first, the world itself must bend to your choice. Because when you refuse to be drawn into the fight, when you refuse to give them the satisfaction of your energy, you win. And here's the secret. They often don't even realize it until it's too late. Think about every argument you've had, every time you've raised your voice, every time you've tried to prove a point, every time you've begged for understanding. Haven't you felt a subtle erosion of your power? Every second you engage is energy spent. Every word you give away is leverage lost. Walking away first is reclaiming that energy. Walking away first is saying, silently but unmistakably, I decide where my energy goes. I decide who has access to my life. I am the one who sets the terms. And here's what most people will never tell you. The act of walking away first isn't just a tactical move in the external world. It is a declaration to your own soul. It is a recognition that your time, your peace, your mental clarity are more sacred than winning someone else's approval. When you walk away first, you step into your own sovereignty. You step into the authority over your inner world that no one else can take from you. But let's not pretend it's easy. It is terrifying. It is lonely. It feels unnatural because society has trained you to engage, to fight, to justify, to over-explain. There is shame embedded in silence. There is guilt embedded in absence. And yet, there is a raw, unshakable truth. The moment you walk away first, you disrupt the entire power dynamic. You invert the game. You transform the field on which the battle is fought without lifting a weapon, without uttering a single threat, without engaging in a single argument. You see, walking away first is not about anger. It is not about spite. It is not even about strategy alone. It is about clarity. It is about recognition. It is about understanding the nature of value, understanding that the most precious thing you possess is your presence, your energy, your attention, your life itself. And if someone or something is demanding it, attempting to drain it, attempting to force it from you, the highest form of resistance is simply to withdraw it, to step back, to walk away, and in doing so, to reclaim it, stronger, sharper, and untouchable. Imagine, for a moment, the feeling of walking away from a situation, a person, a toxic environment, and watching them scramble in confusion, frustration, even desperation. They do not understand why you do not fight. They do not understand why you do not argue. They do not understand why you do not plead. And that is the point, because you are not playing their game anymore. You are no longer bound by their rules, their expectations, their dramas. You have transcended the battlefield, and from that higher vantage point, you see clearly, you act decisively, you exist freely. And here's the deeper layer, the one most people never see. The act of walking away first creates a vacuum of power. It forces reflection. It forces recognition. It forces those who would attempt to drain you to confront their own weaknesses, their own insecurities, their own illusions of control. You do not need to fight for victory. They fight themselves in your absence. And in this quiet, unseen way, you achieve the ultimate victory without a single blow. You feel the tension in your body even as you listen to this. You feel the pull of instinct, the pull to react, to defend, to justify. And yet, you also feel the stirrings of a deeper knowing that you already know the truth, that you already understand that walking away first is the highest form of strength. That quiet, unshakable act, that refusal to engage, that decision to preserve your power above all else, this is the thing they cannot break. This is the thing they cannot touch. And so I ask you, are you ready to step into that truth? Are you ready to recognize that the fight you've been losing is the fight you were never meant to win? That the energy you've been wasting is the energy you were meant to conserve? That the ultimate victory is waiting for you in the simple, audacious act of walking away first? It is not easy. It is not simple. It is terrifying. But the reward is beyond measure. Freedom, sovereignty, power, peace. And for the first time in your life, you realize that the person who walks away first is not weak, is not defeated, is not afraid. They are unstoppable. So take a breath. Feel it. Feel the power of your own life. The power of your own energy. The power of your own presence. And let this be the first step into a new way of existing in the world, a way where victory does not require fighting, where power is quiet, where strength is measured not by the battles you engage in, but by the ones you refuse to play. Because when you walk away first, my friend, you do not just survive, you dominate, without a fight, without a word, without a single ounce of wasted energy. And that is the quietest, most devastating power in existence. You have spent so much of your life trying to prove yourself to others. You have bent, twisted, and contorted your very being in order to fit the expectations of people who never really saw you. You argued your point. You justified your actions. You begged for recognition, for validation, for acknowledgement. And yet, no matter how much you gave, no matter how hard you tried, something within you always whispered, "This is not the way." That whisper, soft, almost inaudible, was your soul, trying to remind you of a truth too powerful to ignore, that the moment you engage on someone else's terms, you surrender a piece of yourself. Every argument, every clash, every fight you've been drawn into has cost you more than you realize. It has cost you energy, clarity, peace, and most importantly, power. The world trains you to react. Society tells you that defending, proving, and contending are the only paths to respect. But this is an illusion, a lie dressed in tradition, conformity, and fear. You see, walking away first is not about avoiding conflict. It is about understanding the futility of conflict that serves no purpose. It is about recognizing that some battles are traps, carefully disguised as opportunities for growth or justice, yet designed only to drain you. The moment you realize this, the moment you see the game for what it is, a strange clarity washes over you. You understand that strength is not measured by your ability to engage, but by your ability to discern. And discernment is a kind of power most people never cultivate. Consider this: every human interaction, every relationship, every confrontation carries an invisible energy exchange. When you argue, when you fight, when you engage in the struggle, you are giving away pieces of yourself. You are handing over control of your internal state to forces outside of you. You are letting the noise of the world dictate your emotions, your decisions, your peace. And most people, so many people, live their entire lives in this state of surrender. Exhausted, anxious, frustrated, wondering why nothing ever feels like victory. Walking away first, however, changes everything. When you step back before the fight begins, before the argument even forms in your mind, you reclaim what is rightfully yours, the sovereignty over your own energy. You refuse to participate in a battle that has no meaning for you. You refuse to invest in someone else's chaos. And in doing so, you achieve a victory that no one else can see, a victory that is subtle, profound, and absolute. But let me be clear, this is not about avoidance. It is not about weakness. It is not about running. It is about understanding your value. It is about recognizing that your life, your energy, your mind, and your heart are precious beyond measure. They are resources that should never be squandered on someone who refuses to meet you at your level, who refuses to recognize your worth, who thrives on the drama you bring to them. Walking away first is the ultimate statement. I will not surrender myself to your story. I will not trade my power for your approval. I will not lose myself in your chaos now. Picture the psychological truth behind this. Most people fight because they feel threatened. They argue because their ego is fragile. They seek to dominate because they are afraid of being seen as powerless. When you walk away first, you bypass all of that. You bypass the drama, the insecurity, the ego-driven battles, and you move into a space of absolute calm, authority. The world is suddenly forced to respond to you differently because you are no longer participating in the expected narrative. You are no longer predictable. You are no longer a pawn in someone else's game. And this is where the spiritual depth of walking away emerges. There is a quiet, almost sacred intelligence in the act of refusal. It is as if you are telling the universe itself, I know my worth. I know the limits of my energy. I know the power of my presence. The act of walking away first is simultaneously a rejection of unnecessary struggle and a declaration of inner sovereignty. It is a recognition that true power lies in presence, not participation. Think of the metaphors. The lion does not waste. Its roar on creatures that do not matter. The river does not argue with stones, in its path it simply flows, carving its way through the landscape with patience, persistence, and inevitability. The storm does not apologize to the trees, it topples. It simply moves forward, leaving the weak behind and shaping the world in its wake. Walking away first is your storm. It is your river. It is your roar contained until it serves your purpose. The moment you adopt this mindset, the psychological shift is immediate and profound. You begin to notice patterns you never saw before. You recognize who in your life demands energy without giving any in return. You see the subtle manipulations, the games, the power plays, and suddenly the veil lifts. You understand why so many people expend themselves on endless battles that never serve them. And then, for the first time, you step into choice. The choice to give energy, the choice to walk away, the choice to preserve your peace above all else. And here is the paradox. When you walk away first, you win twice. You win internally because you have protected your most valuable resource, yourself. And you win externally because those who tried to draw you into conflict are left scrambling, confused, exposed. They do not understand why you did not fight. They do not understand why their provocation failed. And in that confusion, in that silent chaos, you become untouchable. It is not just a strategy, it is a philosophy rooted in the understanding that the world will always offer distractions, provocations, and battles, and the person who learns to discern which fights are worth engaging in, which are better, left untouched, transcends the ordinary. You do not merely survive conflict, you rise above it. You become a force that others measure themselves against, even without realizing it. And yet, this is also deeply personal. Walking away first is not about defeating others. It is about mastering yourself. It is about reclaiming the internal landscape that so many people hand over willingly to anyone who shouts loud enough, argues long enough, or manipulates skillfully enough. It is about returning to a state of clarity where your actions are intentional, your energy is preserved, and your presence is magnetic because it is undiluted, unexploited, and fully yours. There is an emotional depth here that cannot be overstated. You feel the tension in your body as you consider it, the pull of the old patterns, the fear of loss, the fear of loneliness, the fear of judgment. But what you must realize is that those fears are illusions. They are constructs designed to keep you in the fight, to keep you predictable, to keep you engaged in battles that serve no one. When you walk away first, you pierce those illusions. You step into a new reality, one where your decisions are guided by wisdom, not fear, by clarity, not compulsion, by sovereignty, not obligation, And in that new reality, everything changes. You see the world differently. You see relationships differently. You see your own value differently. You understand that the most powerful move you can ever make is not to strike, to shout, to argue, or to prove it, is to walk away with grace, with clarity, with authority, and with peace. This is the essence of mastery. This is the secret that those who exhaust themselves in endless conflict will never understand. And it is available to you right now if you are willing to step into it. If you are willing to feel the fear, acknowledge the discomfort, and choose yourself over the fight. And as you sit with that realization, feel the subtle shift in your body, your mind, and your energy. Notice how the tension begins to ease. Notice the clarity forming in your thoughts. Notice the empowerment that comes from reclaiming what was always yours, the control over your presence, your energy, and your life. This is not just philosophy. This is not just psychology. This is the power of walking away first. You have walked through storms in your life, haven't you? You have stood under clouds, heavy with judgment, resentment, and expectation, and you have felt the weight of the world pressing against your chest. But consider this, the storm is not your enemy. It is merely a mirror, reflecting the chaos within others, and offering you a choice: participate in the turbulence, or rise above it. Most people reach for shields, for swords, for defenses that burn them out. You, however, have the chance to do something far more powerful, to step aside while the storm rages, untouched and unwavering. Imagine a river carving its path through jagged cliffs. It does not fight the stones, nor does it rail against the mountains. It flows, patiently, persistently, inevitably. Each obstacle is met, not with rage, but with grace. The river does not win by striking. It wins by endurance, by motion, by refusing to resist the natural course of life. This is the metaphor of walking away first. You do not need to break anyone down. You do not need to shout louder than them. You do not need to prove yourself in the arena they insist upon. You win by moving through, around, and beyond. You win because you refuse to be trapped, and consider the lion in the wild. The lion does not charge every creature that crosses its path. It does not waste energy on those beneath it, on those who cannot challenge it in meaningful ways. The lion watches, it observes, it waits for the moment that matters. And when that moment arrives, when the target is worthy, the strike is precise, unstoppable, inevitable. You are learning to embody that lion. You are learning that your energy is sacred, that your presence is not a tool to be exhausted on every provocation, that your power is demonstrated in discernment as much as action. Now, let us venture into a more personal metaphor, one that lives in the heart of human experience. Imagine a bridge stretched across a chasm. Behind you, the world calls, demanding your engagement, your fight, your struggle. Ahead of you, clarity and peace wait, glowing with quiet light. Many people step onto the bridge with hesitation, tiptoeing back and forth, unsure if leaving behind the familiar struggle will betray their pride or ego. You, however, step forward first. You commit to the crossing, and with each step, the chasm grows smaller. With each step, the noise fades. With each step, you realize that the fight you imagined behind you never had the power to stop you. It was never the bridge, it was the fear. And fear, like shadows at noon, dissolves in the light of conscious choice. Walking away first also carries the subtle artistry of timing. Consider the chess master, who does not attack blindly but waits for the opponent to overextend, to reveal weakness. Every confrontation is a game of energy, of strategy, of perception. Those who rush to argue, to prove, to dominate, are like pawns, expendable and predictable. You are learning to see the board differently. You are learning that victory is not in immediate action, but in timed withdrawal, in deliberate pause, in graceful absence. The move that seems passive on the surface is often the one that secures the deepest triumph, and there is a spiritual truth here as well. Walking away first aligns you with the rhythm of the universe. There is a principle older than human conflict, older than ego and ambition. Energy follows consciousness. When you maintain peace within yourself, when you step away from unnecessary conflict, your energy radiates outward. It does not scream, it does not beg its commands, and the world, in its mysterious, invisible ways, responds. Doors open, paths clear. People reveal their true intentions. Those who tried to pull you into chaos cannot sustain the rhythm you set. Your absence becomes your presence. Your refusal becomes a form of undeniable authority. Now, let us explore the human archetype in all this. The wise hermit. The hermit retreats not because they fear the world, but because they understand it. They understand that not every battle is theirs to fight, that not every war is theirs to win. And in their retreat, they gather insight, strength, and clarity. The world often misinterprets retreat as weakness, but in truth, the hermit walks first because they are awake. They walk away from the distractions that drain, the conflicts that blind, the chaos that confuses. They walk toward a higher power, the power of presence, of discernment, of mastery over the self. And here is the paradox, the poetic twist that few truly grasp. By stepping away first, you change the game entirely. The battlefield no longer exists in the form the other person imagined. Your withdrawal is not surrender, it is creation. You are creating a space where your energy, your attention, and your power are preserved. You are no longer playing by the rules they set. You are rewriting the rules entirely. And in that rewriting, you gain what is far more valuable than victory in a fight: freedom. There is a profound psychological insight here. The act of walking away first forces those around you to confront themselves. They expected you to react, to argue, to defend, to fight. When you do none of these things, the mirrors they have been holding up to themselves shatter. They see their reflection not as you, but as their own chaos, their own insecurity, their own need for control. And in that realization, you hold silent power. You hold authority without speaking. You hold victory without striking. Imagine the scene: someone who has tried to provoke you, to challenge you, to draw out your reaction, is left in stunned silence. The energy they depended upon for validation, for engagement, evaporates. They cannot grasp the method. They cannot touch the mastery. They are left only with the question, why did they not fight? And in that question lies your triumph. The unspoken, unseen, invincible triumph of choosing yourself first. And do not mistake this as coldness or detachment. On the contrary, walking away first is the height of emotional intelligence and spiritual depth. It is not a rejection of life, love, or connection. It is a recognition that the battles that matter, the wars worth engaging in, require your full strength. They require clarity, energy, and a presence untainted by distractions that have no meaning. Every time you choose to step back from unnecessary conflict, you are not closing doors. You are opening the door to your higher self, to the life that is truly aligned with your soul's purpose, consider the metaphor of fire. A fire that burns continuously, without tending, without control, consumes everything around it. It destroys, it frightens, it exhausts. But a fire that is tended with awareness, a fire that is lit when necessary and allowed to rest when unneeded, becomes a source of warmth, light, and life. Walking away first is your tending of the fire within. You burn only where it matters. You conserve energy. You illuminate only the spaces that serve growth. And in that deliberate control, you become a force that is both feared and respected. And here is the final truth embedded in the metaphor. The act of walking away first does not only protect you from conflict, it teaches the world to respect the boundaries of power. It teaches others that you are not a resource to be drained, a pawn to be manipulated, or a participant in games you never consented to. Your absence is a statement. Your choice is a declaration. Your sovereignty is undeniable. The river continues to flow. The lion continues to watch. The hermit continues to walk. The fire burns only when it must. And you, standing in the midst of a world designed to exhaust, distract, and provoke, finally understand. True mastery is not in fighting. It is in knowing when not to fight. True power is in choosing yourself first, and as this metaphorical vision settles in, feel it resonate within you. Feel the shift. Feel the calm authority forming in your chest, the quiet wisdom settling in your mind, the freedom stretching into every part of your being. You are learning that every act of withdrawal, every step taken first, every refusal to engage on someone else's terms is not loss, but gain, not absence, but presence, not weakness, but unassailable strength. Now, feel the weight of every battle you thought you had to fight. Feel it as if it is pressing against your chest right now, constricting your lungs, whispering that you must engage, that you must prove yourself, that you must exhaust your energy for someone else's chaos. Feel it because it is real. But also feel this truth. It has no power over you unless you give it power. The moment you step away first, the moment you withdraw your consent to be a participant in every drama, every petty fight, every manipulation, reclaim a force that no argument, no insult, no provocation can ever take from you. You have allowed the world to dictate the terms of your engagement for too long. You have raised shields, sharpened swords, and prepared for battles that never truly mattered. And in doing so, you have forgotten what it feels like to walk unburdened, to carry your energy untainted, to stand tall in your own sovereignty. But now the veil lifts. Now you begin to see that every time you rush to respond, every time you allow someone else's chaos to draw your fire, you have been fighting shadows. And the shadow does not win it, only distracts. You win when you refuse the fight before it begins. Close your eyes for a moment and picture the life you have been living under constant tension, under constant expectation, under constant pressure. To prove yourself to the unworthy, hear the echoes of arguments you should have never entered. Feel the sleepless nights where your mind raced over conflicts that had no right to demand your attention. And now feel the liberation as it begins to dawn, that by walking away first, you do not lose, you gain. You gain clarity, you gain power, you gain freedom, you gain the knowledge that you are untouchable to those who thrive on manipulation, on provocation, on coercion. And let us be honest, it is terrifying at first. To step away first requires courage unlike any you have known. To walk away while everyone expects you to fight, to argue, to justify, to exhaust yourself, it is the single hardest act of strength a human can master, because it is so deeply counterintuitive. Our instincts scream at us to engage, to defend, to retaliate. But the greatest warriors in history, the most enlightened souls in human memory, understood the paradox. True power is revealed not in confrontation, but in mastery over it. Now feel your chest tighten as the truth settles. You do not need their validation. You do not need their acknowledgement. You do not need to prove yourself to those whose lives are designed to distract, to drain, to diminish. The chains that bound you were never theirs, they were yours. Chains of expectation, of fear, of the false notion that engagement equals victory. And with every step you take away from the fight that does not belong to you, those chains shatter, crack, fall, and you rise, taller than ever before, not because the world bowed to you, but because you refused to bow to the world. Feel now the power that is already inside you, the quiet, unwavering energy that has been waiting for this moment. The fire that has been smoldering beneath the ashes of past conflicts begins to flare, controlled, precise, deliberate. It does not burn others recklessly. It does not seek revenge. It seeks alignment with your higher purpose. It seeks mastery. It seeks truth. And as you walk away first, you are claiming it, claiming yourself, claiming the energy that is rightfully yours, claiming the peace that no external chaos can ever touch. Imagine the look in their eyes when they realize that you will not engage. The expectation of retaliation, of drama, of conflict is met with silence, met with absence, met with the weightless, untouchable force of someone who understands their own value. And in that realization, a strange alchemy occurs. Their anger, their provocation, their attempts to draw you into chaos begin to lose meaning. They have no power over you because you have stepped outside their field of control. You have chosen the battlefield where only you hold the rules, and the emotional crescendo deepens when you feel the internal liberation, the moment where you understand that every fight you imagined was a trap, a test of your energy, your patience, your understanding of yourself. And by walking away first, you pass the test effortlessly, not because you are indifferent, not because you are cold, not because you lack feeling, but because you are awake, because you have learned the rhythm of power and presence, because you have discovered that absence can speak louder than argument, that retreat can teach more than engagement, that walking away first is the ultimate act of mastery. Consider the human heart, fragile yet unbreakable. You have allowed it to be bruised, battered, tested by every provocation, every manipulation, every unnecessary struggle. But now, as you rise in understanding, the bruises heal not with resentment, but with insight. They heal not with bitterness, but with wisdom. They heal because you realize that the energy you preserve for yourself is the most sacred currency in existence, and the world, in all its noise and chaos, will have to adjust. Your power is invisible, yet undeniable. Your victory silent, yet absolute. And yes, there is pain in the process. The first steps away are never easy. You will feel the pull, the weight of expectation, the voices insisting that you must fight, that you must prove, that you must exhaust. But in that discomfort, in that tension, lies the seed of transformation. The seed that tells you, I am no longer a participant in battles that do not belong to me. The seed that whispers, I am choosing myself first, and in this choice, I am infinite. Let the intensity of this moment soak into your bones. Feel your muscles, your mind, your very presence align with the rhythm of someone who cannot be controlled by external chaos. Feel the surge of clarity, the awakening of purpose. Feel the liberation as your energy returns to you fully, undiluted, unshaken, untainted. And as this peak unfolds, you realize the world may scream, it may push, it may provoke, but it cannot reach the one who refuses to engage on its terms. This is the emotional apex of understanding. Every fight avoided is a victory gained. Every step away first is a claim to sovereignty. Every refusal to participate in meaningless conflict is a declaration that you are untouchable, unshakable, and unstoppable. You are no longer a reactant to life. You are an initiator, a force, a conscious creator of your own reality. And in this realization, the fear, the doubt, the exhaustion, all of it dissolves. And now, in this electric, trembling clarity, you hear the call, walk away. Step first, choose yourself, claim your peace, claim your power, not tomorrow, not later, not when the conditions are perfect. Now, this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, because every second spent fighting the wrong battle is a second lost from the life you were meant to live. Every second wasted validating chaos is a second stolen from your own sovereignty, and in that truth, you awaken, fully, completely, fiercely. You are no longer a participant in their drama. You are no longer subject to their expectations. You are not a pawn, a tool, or a reflection of their insecurities. You are a sovereign being, walking first, choosing freedom, choosing mastery, choosing victory without fighting. This is your emotional peak. This is your awakening. And as the surge settles, let it embed in every fiber of your being. You win by stepping away first, by refusing the unnecessary, by preserving your energy, by aligning with your highest self. And nothing, no person, no provocation, no chaos can take that from you. Now, feel the stillness settle after the storm. Hear the echo of every battle you refused, every argument you did not enter, every unnecessary struggle that you have turned away from. Listen closely, because in that silence, there is a voice, your voice, the one that has been quieted by fear, by expectation, by the ceaseless demands of a world that never stops testing your boundaries. And now it speaks, strong, clear, absolute, saying, I am here, I am whole, I am free. You have walked away first, and in that act alone, you have achieved what so many never will: mastery over your own energy, sovereignty over your own life, and an unshakable presence that no chaos can penetrate. Let that truth sink into you. Let it sink deep into the core of your being, where the whispers of doubt once resided, where the fear of confrontation once weighed heavily on your shoulders. Those whispers now vanish in the face of a self who understands that walking away first is not surrender, it is victory. Take a moment to reflect on what this means. Every fight that would have drained you, every conflict that would have tested you, every person who thrived on provoking your reaction, none of it matters anymore. It cannot touch you because you have chosen a higher path. You have chosen wisdom over impulse, clarity over confusion, peace over chaos. And in choosing this, you have stepped into a realm of power that is invisible yet undeniable, silent yet transformative. Now, imagine the life that unfolds before you when you consistently apply this principle. Imagine walking through each day with the quiet strength of someone who is untouchable, not in arrogance, not in detachment, but in conscious alignment with their own value. Imagine the freedom of refusing to validate unnecessary conflict, of choosing which battles are truly worth your attention, of preserving your energy for the people, opportunities, and experiences that deserve it. This is the life of someone who walks away first, and in walking away, wins. And yet, this power demands vigilance. It is not a one-time act. It is a practice, a discipline, a philosophy. You will be tempted, again and again, to step back into the fray, to argue, to justify, to prove yourself to the world. But remember, true victory is measured not by how many battles you fight, but by which battles you refuse to enter. Each time you step away with intention, you are strengthening your inner fortress. Each time you preserve your energy, you are building a reservoir of clarity, insight, and resilience. Feel the transformation as it roots itself within you. The moments where you once felt powerless, overwhelmed, or reactive now feel lighter. You begin to recognize the patterns, the manipulations, the provocations before they fully take shape. You begin to see the subtle games, the unconscious traps, the invisible strings that others use to pull you into unnecessary struggle. And you realize, I am not their puppet. I am not their participant. I am sovereign, and this sovereignty is not only protective, it is magnetic. The energy of someone who walks away first, who refuses to engage in meaningless conflict, draws respect, admiration, and alignment from the world around them. Others sense it immediately. Those who seek to manipulate, provoke, or control will find their attempts ineffective. They will meet a presence that does not react, that does not bend, that does not validate their chaos. And in that moment, a profound truth emerges. Power is silent, influence is subtle, and victory can be effortless when exercised wisely. Now look inward. Feel the strength that has always been there, dormant beneath fear, beneath expectation, beneath the compulsion to prove yourself. This strength is infinite. It is patient. It is discerning. It does not need external validation to exist. It does not need confrontation to be proven. And it is now yours to wield. With each step away from unnecessary conflict, you reclaim a portion of yourself that the world once attempted to claim. With each refusal to argue, you strengthen the core of who you are. And with each conscious choice to preserve your energy, you build a life of clarity, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. And here is the final truth to carry with you. Walking away first is not a retreat, is a declaration. A declaration that you will not be used, drained, or diminished by forces that do not serve your higher purpose. A declaration that you will protect your peace, honor your energy, and prioritize your growth above all else. A declaration that you have mastered the art of knowing when to engage on, more importantly, when not to. Let this understanding crystallize in your mind. The world is full of battles that are meaningless, conflicts that are manufactured, and provocations designed to steal your focus and energy. And yet, by walking away first, you have already won. You have already claimed the ultimate victory. You have chosen yourself above all else. And in doing so, you have become untouchable as you breathe in. Feel the power of this realization coursing through every vein. Feel your mind sharpen, your heart steady, your spirit aligned. With each exhale, release the weight of past struggles, the need to justify, the compulsion to fight. Let it fall away. You are free, you are sovereign, you are victorious, and the world, in all its noise, must adjust to your presence, not the other way around. Take this moment and carry it forward. Every challenge you face, every person who seeks to provoke, every situation that tempts you into unnecessary struggle is now a test, but not of your strength in conflict. It is a test of your mastery over your own energy, and with each conscious choice to walk away first, you pass with grace, with power, and with freedom. This is your path, your practice, your power. To walk away first is not weakness, is mastery. To disengage from chaos is not surrender, is sovereignty. To preserve your energy, to protect your peace, to honor your worth, this is the ultimate act of courage, wisdom, and self-mastery. And as you embrace it fully, you awaken the part of yourself that has always known. True victory is silent, effortless, and entirely your own. So now, take a deep breath. Let it fill every corner of your being. Stand tall. Feel the weight of your presence in this world. Feel the power of your choice. Know, without question, that the next time chaos calls, the next time conflict beckons, the next time drama seeks to consume your energy, you will step away first. And in that step, you will win. Always walk away, walk free, walk strong, walk powerful, and let the world marvel at the force of someone who has learned the ultimate truth. Victory does not always roar. Sometimes it simply steps away first. And now, as all the noise fades, as the echoes of conflict and expectation dissipate into nothingness, you stand at the edge of a new beginning. You stand untouched, unshaken, unclaimed by the chaos that once sought to tether you. Look at yourself not as someone who has simply survived, but as someone who has chosen with clarity, who has decided with courage, who has walked away when others would have stayed to fight meaningless battles. That choice alone marks you as rare, as untouchable, as sovereign. Feel the weight of your presence, the gravity of your own energy, the quiet yet undeniable force that you now carry. You are no longer at the mercy of the world's provocations. You are no longer bound to prove, to argue, to justify. Every step you take from this moment forward is a declaration that your peace is priceless, that your mind is inviolable, that your heart is yours to govern. You have discovered what few ever do, the freedom that comes from walking away first, the victory that comes without struggle, the strength that is revealed when you choose yourself above all else, and so take this truth into every corner of your life. Carry it into your relationships, your work, your ambitions, your moments of doubt and fear. Let it be the silent drumbeat of your courage, the unshakable foundation of your power. Know that every time you resist the pull to fight, to react, to exhaust yourself in unnecessary conflict, you are building a life that radiates clarity, respect, and unstoppable momentum. You are teaching the world how to treat you not with words, but with the unwavering energy of your presence. Remember, walking away first is not defeat. It is mastery. It is strategy. It is sovereignty. It is the quiet roar of someone who has learned that the true battles worth fighting are internal, spiritual, and profoundly personal. And now, as you step forward from this moment, you do so unafraid, unshaken, and fully alive, aware of your worth, in command of your energy, and free from the chains of unnecessary conflict. This is your power. This is your victory. This is the truth of walking away first, that when you release the need to fight, you gain everything that matters. Step into it, claim it, own it, and let the world witness the quiet force of someone who has learned the ultimate truth. The first to walk away is always the one who wins.